is it's just really, really, really painful when you know what I know, when you've seen what I've seen, and those young women deserve considerably better.
The man you're talking about is Elon Musk. I imagine you don't want to spend much time with me dwelling on him.
No.
He spends a lot of time, you're living rent-free in his head, it seems, at the moment.
Yeah.
But he called you a rape genocide apologist.
And it's painful to watch it become a...
He targeted Jess Phillips, the Minister for Safeguarding, saying that she should be jailed, and called her a rape genocide apologist. Now, these are shocking and appalling comments, given that Jess Phillips is the only government minister in the world whose sole portfolio and task is to look at devising government strategies to end violence against women and girls. Now, Musk comment...
Just when the dust seemed to settle, new revelations have reignited the storm around Phillips. Her past has come back to haunt her, turning the spotlight onto a shocking narrative that challenges her claims of being the victim. In this video, we'll discuss the fresh backlash Phillips is facing, uncover the shocking details from her past that have resurfaced, and explore how these revelations challenge her victim narrative. We'll also dive into public reactions and what this could mean for her reputation moving forward.
The man you're talking about is Elon Musk. I imagine you don't want to spend much time with me dwelling on him.
No.
He spends a lot of time, you're living rent-free in his...
Jess Phillips, a name often tied to controversy, has spent the past week portraying herself as the victim. However, her attempts to gain sympathy have taken an unexpected turn. This isn't just about public misunderstanding or unwarranted criticism. No, this week, Jess Phillips' past has resurfaced in ways she likely never saw coming.
I suppose the thing that my strongest feeling is that there is a huge furore about something a man thousands of miles away said.
Hey, quick favour before we move on. If you find this political content interesting, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Most of you watch without subscribing and it's free, but it helps us out so much. Have you done it yet? Thanks a ton for the support. Now, let's get back to the video.
Jess, thanks for coming to talk to us today. Now, an awful lot has been said about you and written about you in the past few days. This is the first time you've come to speak for yourself. What would you like to say?
To watch it become a political football rather than an actual attempt to really do something. You get very, very tired when you do this kind of work, and I've sat in courtrooms with young girls because they'll only speak if I'm sat there holding their hand.
The controversy began when Elon Musk openly accused Jess Phillips of being a rape genocide apologist and implicated her, along with Labour leader Keir Starmer, in allegedly covering up scandals. The accusation sent the internet into a frenzy, with some leaping to Phillips' defence while others began scrutinising her past. Rather than addressing these serious allegations with transparency and resolve, Jess Phillips leaned into a victim narrative, asserting that she was being unfairly attacked.
My response is that it's amazing that Kemi Badenoch could say 2025 should be the year that victims get the response after 14 years of government. I'm not entirely sure. Funnily enough, this all started about an Oldham inquiry, which a government she was part of also said should be done locally.
Phillips appeared visibly emotional during an interview, describing how the accusations had turned her world upside down. She shared that the relentless criticism had deeply impacted her mental health and expressed a desire to focus on her work with victims of grooming gangs. However, instead of garnering sympathy, this statement prompted many to scrutinise her record more closely, sparking even greater controversy.
Jess, thanks for coming to talk to us today. Now, an awful lot has been said about you and written about you in the past few days. This is the first time you've come to speak for yourself. What would you like to say?
I suppose the thing that my strongest feeling is that there is a huge furore about something a man thousands of miles away said.
Musk stood firm in his accusations. After Phillips' public outcry, he doubled down, highlighting her alleged shortcomings in tackling the very issues she claimed to advocate for. Social media erupted with reactions, and a particularly incriminating old tweet resurfaced. In the tweet, Phillips bragged about labelling George Galloway a rape apologist. Critics quickly seized on the irony, calling her out for hypocrisy and fueling the ongoing backlash.
Out something a man thousands of miles away said about me that has led to an issue that I care so deeply about and have dedicated most of my working life and quite a lot of my personal life to making better and supporting.
George Galloway himself fired back, dismissing Phillips' account as a complete fabrication. His response added fuel to the growing criticism, as others began spotlighting Phillips' history of controversial remarks and perceived double standards. One user noted her pattern of attacking others while avoiding accountability for her own actions, further intensifying the backlash.
There is a huge furore about something a man thousands of miles away said about me.
As the week progressed, new allegations against Jess Phillips came to light. Critics began questioning her commitment to supporting victims of grooming gangs, an issue she often highlighted to enhance her political profile. Reports emerged claiming that Phillips had neglected to meet with or consult actual victims, a significant shortfall for someone who claimed to champion their cause.
Quite a lot of my personal life to making better and supporting victims, specifically of grooming gangs, really directly. And it's painful to watch it become.
This revelation hit hard, particularly among her former supporters. The apparent disconnect between Phillips' public statements and her actions raised serious doubts about her sincerity, leaving many to question the authenticity of her advocacy.
And none of their voices, no care was given about these women. And this sudden demands being made, whether it's by the Conservative Party or ridiculous statements that are false being made about me and my government about it by a man 1,000 miles away.
The social media backlash was immediate and relentless. Users scrutinised her record, circulated damning screenshots, and expressed their outrage. One cutting comment pointed out that Phillips had no grounds to criticise others given the contradictions in her own history. Another labelled her a hypocrite, accusing her of prioritising political point scoring over genuine efforts to create meaningful change.
You were talking about how it felt painful. Were you angry about that? I mean,
at first I just thought it was ridiculous. It's a ridiculous statement. I don't even know what it means, but it's a ridiculous statement. It's completely and utterly untrue. And whilst, to use your words, that I'm living rent-free in his head, he obviously hasn't looked into the level of work that I have done on this over the years or currently.
The controversy hasn't been confined to Jess Phillips alone. It has also cast a shadow over Labour Party leadership, including Keir Starmer. Critics have accused the party of allowing figures like Phillips to remain in positions of power despite their contentious records, raising questions about the party's accountability and integrity.
The best thing I have ever seen to actually inform change of how things happen now, that stops children being abused now. So the Tories it's amazing they were only out of government 6 months ago and now they're claiming that. I've never seen Kemi Badenoch, Chris Philp, Robert Jenrick in any of the meetings that I've been in over the years trying to advance policy on this.
The impact of this scandal goes far beyond Jess Phillips' personal reputation. It has sparked crucial discussions about accountability, hypocrisy, and the integrity of public figures. When politicians champion the causes of marginalised groups but fail to back their words with meaningful action, it deeply undermines public trust and confidence in their leadership.
Head, it seems, at the moment.
Yeah.
But he called you a rape genocide apologist. You were talking about how it felt painful. Were you angry about that?
I mean, at first I just thought it was ridiculous. It's a ridiculous statement. I don't even know what it means, but it's a ridiculous statement.
This incident has also underscored the growing influence of social media in holding public figures accountable. In a digital age where past actions and statements can be uncovered with just a few clicks, it has become nearly impossible for anyone to outrun their history.
What I know, when you've seen what I've seen, and those young women deserve considerably better.
The Jess Phillips controversy unfolds against a backdrop of already dwindling public confidence in the political establishment. For many, it serves as a glaring example of a broader issue plaguing UK politics. A culture marked by unaccountability and performative activism that prioritises appearances over genuine action.
It's completely and utterly untrue. And whilst, to use your words, that I'm living rent-free in his head, he obviously hasn't looked into the level of work that I have done on this over the years or currently.
While Jess Phillips' future hangs in the balance, one thing is undeniable. This controversy has ignited a broader debate about the qualities we expect from our leaders. It also serves as a powerful reminder that adopting a victim narrative can backfire dramatically when past actions don't align with the image one tries to project.
And this is that the rape gangs, the gangs of people who gang rape children, are not going to be investigated, or at least there's not going to be an inquiry into what happened in Oldham unless Oldham Council itself decides to do the inquiry in the way that Telford has and other ways. Jess Phillips, who is the safeguarding minister, she's a Home Office minister, she's someone who has campaigned on this for years. Well, she has the power to grant an inquiry. She has the power to say that Home Office resources should be used for some sort of inquiry. She's also the power to say whether there should be a big national inquiry, a statutory inquiry into this. Well,
the scandal surrounding Jess Phillips has uncovered more than just her personal missteps. It has amplified concerns about the widening gap between politicians and the public. For years, Phillips portrayed herself as a staunch advocate for women's rights and justice for grooming gang victims. Yet, the revelations of her inconsistent actions and hypocritical statements have significantly undermined her credibility.
Saw council officers change the way that they deal with things. I saw victims brought in to that council as independent advisors to get the recommendations done.
Can I ask you to address the suggestion by some that you turned the Home Office National Review into what happened in Oldham down because it would be very unpopular with some Labour voters? Your majority at the general election, I can see that you're smiling at that, was reduced to 693. Nick Timothy, Conservative MP, former Chief of Staff to Theresa May, wrote this: there are allegations about the conduct of senior Labour councillors in Oldham. Is that what it's about?
What an absolute load of rubbish.
Public trust in elected officials is already at rock bottom, and this controversy highlights exactly why. Voters expect their representatives to demonstrate integrity and follow through on their commitments, especially when advocating for crucial issues. Jess Phillips' failure to align her rhetoric with tangible actions has led many to question whether her activism is authentic or merely a political tactic. This breakdown of trust goes beyond her alone. It underscores a growing frustration with politicians who consistently fall short of their promises.
Shaw is a former advisor to the Labour Home Affairs team in opposition. He's also a Home Affairs journalist of great standing. Danny, good to talk to you this morning. Would you have advised Jess Phillips to do what she has done, to deny this inquiry? Was that the right decision, do you think?
Good morning, Peter. Well, I think that the first thing to say is that there has been an inquiry. There was an inquiry commissioned in 2019, reported in 2022, almost 200 pages, an inquiry into allegations of abuse in Oldham, and it produced its conclusion.
The Jess Phillips controversy hasn't just damaged her personal reputation, it has also cast a troubling spotlight on the Labour Party as a whole. As a high preferable member, her actions and controversies inevitably reflect on the party's leadership and wider membership. Critics argue that Labour's inability to hold its members accountable has allowed figures like Phillips to erode the party's credibility and public trust.
Rakib, let's start with the rape gang scandal. I'm just going to call it the rape gang scandal because that is what it is. And I think it is absolutely right to give it its proper title, to talk about what has been doing. This is child exploitation. This is sexual exploitation. We know that there was a big report into child exploitation. We know that there were many different recommendations that were there. And we know that the Conservatives sat on those for 18 months. Are they now being hypocritical? People are saying that Jess Phillips, the minister, the Labour minister, is being hypocritical. Are the Conservatives being hypocritical as well in this, do you think, Ricky?
The impact of this controversy go well beyond Jess Phillips, highlighting how the actions of a single individual can cast a long shadow over an entire organisation. Labour now faces the delicate task of managing this crisis to mitigate lasting harm to its reputation and restore public confidence.
That when you speak, and if you have misinformation, you have to think about the consequences of what that does, and one of those consequences is a risk to members of Parliament that you are talking about. And that
For Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party, this controversy presents a critical challenge. With elections on the horizon, the party cannot risk appearing fractured or disconnected from public concerns. The backlash against Jess Phillips may compel Labour to reassess its stance on internal discipline and accountability. Failing to address these issues decisively could deepen voter mistrust and jeopardise the party's prospects at the polls.
Conservatives were in power for 14 years. So for Kemi Badenoch to call for a national inquiry, it just seems a little bit hypocritical to me, really. They had plenty of time to do that.
In fairness, the Conservatives did do an inquiry into child sexual exploitation. This was the Professor Alexis J inquiry. There were lots of recommendations which they didn't implement. They sat on it and gathered dust for 18 months and is still gathering dust. Now, Labour...
The Jess Phillips controversy isn't the only story making waves this week. The UK's negotiations over the Chagos Islands have taken an unexpected twist, with officials proposing to front-load lease payments in an effort to push the contentious deal through. This move has sparked criticism, with detractors accusing the government of yielding to foreign pressures and questioning the long-term implications of such a concession.
A bit frazzled. I've done a lot of talking. People are probably sick of the sound of my voice.
Nobody could be, and the respect and admiration that people have for you has finally shown itself in the last few days. Maggie, I know we're going to talk about things that you've repeated many times, but I feel like we should be like a dog with a bone. But again, I'm going to try it differently perhaps than other people. As a father, what I don't understand, and I don't care if you're Muslim, English, Australian, Polish, Icelandic, I don't care. Where I come from, the most abhorrent thing that you could do, let's not even call them grooming gangs, they're rape gangs, is rape innocent children, blight their lives, both sexually, mentally, physically, and whatever way.
Jess Phillips' week of playing the victim has backfired spectacularly. Rather than earning sympathy, her actions have brought her character and track record under intense scrutiny. This serves as a stark reminder for all public figures. In today's world, transparency and accountability are not just expected, they are essential.
Keir Starmer says that you have been put at risk after being publicly pilloried by Elon Musk. Is that how it feels? Do you feel afraid for your life, for your family's life?
Look, it hasn't been pleasant, and Keir is absolutely right in what he says. But I have had to sort of step outside of it and just try and crack on with my life and my work.
But to be blunt, has Elon Musk endangered your life?
Well, look, there is absolutely no doubt that this whole storm, wherever it started, has meant that I've had to make changes to my life. Yes, that is absolutely the case.
What's your take on this unfolding drama? Can Jess Phillips bounce back from this controversy? Or could it mark the downfall of her political career? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more updates on this story and other key issues shaping the UK. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.